About 8 months ago, I made a video showing you some of the issues with Florida's real estate market. And if you thought that was bad, now we're seeing something that's even much worse that's happening in the Florida condo market. It's happening, guys. The Florida condo market is in a free fall, and Florida condo prices will continue falling throughout 2025. Now, the median condo and townhouse prices have dropped by nearly 6% from the previous year. But it's going to get even worse this year because new sellers are trying to bail out and inventory levels are surging. With over 8 months of inventory available, that's a 50% increase compared to last year. And it doesn't look good for the Florida condo market. So the question is, should you make a lowball offer and scoop up one of these condos at bargain basement prices? Or should you run for the hills and forget about Florida so you don't get burned too? And that's why I'm making this video. I'm going to break down the factors that are driving this trend and what's really happening in Florida and the condo market, and what it actually means for buyers, what it means for sellers, and what it means for investors. So give me a thumbs up if you're good with that. I'm Jerry Pincus, your real estate expert, and I'm here to help you to avoid those pitfalls that are costly. So here's the facts of what's really going on in descending order. Number 6, the rising HOA and insurance fees. Now, people already hate HOAs, but their fees have skyrocketed, and it's becoming a huge problem. And in Florida, condo fees have skyrocketed recently because of the maintenance that they did not take care of for years. And now they're under pressure to comply with the state of Florida's new safety rules. Now, this comes after several tragedies, particularly the collapse of Surfside, Florida condo complex. And these upgrades are expensive, and the costs are being passed directly to the condo owners. Plus, Florida's soaring insurance costs are making the situation even worse. Now, insurance costs in Florida have gone up by 6.6% in the last year. But in some areas, like Miami-Dade, insurance premiums for condo associations have risen by as much as 30% year over year. Now, this is according to the Insurance Information Institute. And Florida insurance has become 2 and even 3 times more expensive in some buildings. And many insurance companies are pulling back from Florida, and they're not covering these properties entirely, as they consider them too risky. And this is leaving the homeowners associations with few options and higher costs. For example, in St. Petersburg, Florida, condo price points that used to be valued at $1.2 million are now nosediving to $715,000 for that very same condo. That's a huge $417,000 price drop. Now, one of the main reasons that buyers are not interested is they don't want to get stuck paying these high HOA fees. But wait, there's more. This is happening very commonly. There's another condo in Miami Beach, which is priced for sale at $430,000. Now, the HOA fees are $1,600 a month, and you have to pay sky-high insurance premiums on top of that. So let's just pretend that the monthly HOA fees don't increase and they don't go up, which is highly unlikely. Over 20 years, this is going to add nearly $200,000 on top of the purchase price. And that's nearly double the cost of ownership. And this is absolutely crushing many retirees. And we're also seeing absentee owners in Florida who are being especially hit hard. Now, these folks who live out of state or use the condos as vacation homes, and we're seeing in some areas that they make up nearly half of all the condo owners. And many of these people are rushing to unload their properties with skyrocketing costs that they just did not anticipate. This flood of listings is saturating the market and pushing prices even lower into a freefall. Number 5, the Surfside Bill. Now, after the tragic Surfside, Florida condo collapse in 2021, 98 people died. So Florida legislation said this is never going to happen again, and they passed the Surfside Bill, which is otherwise known as Senate Bill 4D. Now, this law prevents similar disasters from ever happening again. However, this new law has also caused a huge financial problem for many in Florida's condo market. Under the Surfside Bill, all condo buildings that are 3 stories or higher and are over 30 years old, or 25 years if they're 3 miles from the coast, must undergo a full inspection with additional reserve studies. These evaluations assess the building's structural integrity. Now, this ensures that there's enough funds in the reserve to cover those major repairs, such as roofs, elevators, and even concrete restoration. However, these safety checks come with an enormous price tag because the condo associations now have to follow the new rules and costs that are passed on to those condo owners. Special assessments is a dirty word, but special assessment is essentially a sudden repair bill that are becoming more common now. In some cases, some of these assignments range anywhere from $20,000 to a staggering $350,000 per unit. So let's say that you retired and you've saved up money to buy a condo in Florida, and now they hit you with a $100,000 repair bill. This is really what's happening for countless Floridians. Now, some owners, they're actually forced to sell their units for much less than they're worth because they just simply can't afford to pay these assessments. And about 1 million condos in Florida are now affected by these rules, and this is causing widespread financial stress and the future of uncertainty. There are huge numbers of buildings in Florida where the financial problems are really so bad that the owners can barely afford to keep the basic upkeep, let alone these huge repair costs just to meet this new law requirement. And these buildings are becoming almost impossible to sell. Any new buyer who just does not want to take on this huge debt that comes with them, so these condos are sitting on the market with further deterioration and plummeting values. Number 4, price declines and current market condition. Well, because so many people are trying to sell, especially in older condos, in the market in South Florida is getting flooded with listings. Now take Sunrise, Florida, for example. There's almost 500 condos for sale right now, and that's way more supply than there are buyers. Now across Palm Beach, Broward County, Miami-Dade counties, there's over 16,000 condos on the market, and many have been sitting there for months and months with no activity. Sellers have to accept lowball offers just to offload their problem. Now, people thought that they could get a reasonable price for their condo, and they're now facing the reality, and after waiting months and months and months with no luck, many just decide to sell at a loss just to get rid of their monthly expense and the condo complex's long-term problems. One of the main reasons for this is that buyers in Florida are losing confidence in purchasing, and people are getting nervous about buying into a market that feels unstable and risky. Now, in older condos in Florida, especially that have a bad reputation because of years of neglect and maintenance, they're possibly more expensive repairs, and they're going to have to meet these new regulations. And for regular buyers, the thought of inheriting all these problems is enough to scare them away, which hurts demand even further. And at the same time, this downturn has actually created an opportunity for investors. Now, while it's tough for the regular buyer, investors are actually targeting specific older condo buildings in great locations like Miami, Sarasota, and other beachfront areas. They plan to buy these older buildings, tear them down, and build luxury high-rises. So at its core, while investors have the money to handle the ups and downs of the Florida real estate market, the regular first-time buyers and average condo buyer, they're being priced out and pushed away. Number 3, the shift away from ownership. Now in South Florida, the condo market is in decline, and it's no surprise that the condo market is seeing a shift towards rentals. Developers and investors, they're transforming buildings into rental properties to stay ahead of this volatile market. So for investors, it's a good opportunity. So just think about those older buildings in places like Miami or Sarasota. So instead of letting them sit empty, developers are turning them into rentals. And this could be a good move for investors with deep pockets, especially in desirable areas where people still want to live, yet they don't want to buy right now. Well, what you got to realize is this rise in rentals could totally change the condo market for people who want to buy long-term, and not in a good way. As more buildings become rental communities, community dynamics can totally change, and fewer people may really want to own condos. So with fewer buyers, this means less money for maintaining and improving the buildings, which can lead to a downward spiral and declining values. Number 2, soaring Florida insurance premiums. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, Florida's condo market is currently experiencing a significant downturn, and this is due to soaring property insurance premiums that have almost become unsustainable for both current owners and potential buyers. Now, the relentless increase in insurance cost is driven by factors like frequent natural disasters, new safety regulations, and a lawsuit-happy environment. And all of this has led to a domino effect in the Florida condo market, because condo owners are facing steep Homeowners Association HOA fees to cover these sky-high insurance premiums, and pushing many to sell their properties at deep discounts or even risk foreclosure. Now, this situation has resulted in a noticeable drop in condo sales in Florida, with properties lingering on the market, prices plummeting, and creating an endless downward spiral scenario. Now, many condo owners in Florida are complaining about the market being in a total freefall with no immediate signs of recovery, and continue rising insurance costs left unchecked. Number 1, Florida's condo market. So Florida's condo market is definitely going through a structural shift that could totally reshape the entire Florida housing market in the long run. So if you're considering buying a Florida condo, just remember this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, lower prices and lots of available condos, that means there's good deals out there. However, those deals do come with major long-term risks. You could buy a Florida condo in a building that's having trouble keeping up with the maintenance. So what happens when all the other owners fail to pay their association fees? This will only lead to even higher monthly association fees for all the remaining owners in that building. Now, if you're thinking about selling your condo in Florida, it might be a good idea to do that right now before prices drop even further. But you want to make sure that you do thorough research before proceeding. And when I say research, I'm not talking about a Google search, guys. You're going to need a skilled real estate expert to help you navigate through this process on whether you should buy, whether you should sell, or whether you should hold. An agent who understands the implications of the state of Florida's Surfside Bill and has specific challenges and all that comes along with that for the Florida condo market is going to be a true asset to you. No matter what you decide, I wish you success. Did you find any of this information helpful? I just want to be sure you get all of your options, not just the average, but the way above average. And if you're retiring and you thought about Florida and you're looking for alternative places to consider, I have over 1,400 super helpful videos here on this channel. I'm Jerry with Jerry Pincus Real Estate Experts. My real estate team is here to help you find your hidden gem and to avoid those pitfalls that are costly. So even if you're just thinking about buying or selling property anywhere in the United States, just pick up the phone. We can hook you up with a local real estate expert. Give us a call, 843-839-9870. So until next time, stay happy, stay educated. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys.